Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, I'm Kevin.
And I'm John.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look back at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
Hey, John.
Hey, Kevin. Hey,
Woo.
Buddy.
Bourbon is flowing
In my
Atlanta.
veins. That's right.
It's coursing through my
We're
veins.
celebrating living through the storm.
The fish is in the oven.
Is that a euphemism?
That's a
That's
euphemism.
code.
Ugh.
The fish
So-
is in the oven, sir.
Fish is-
Well, we'll just see what we
The
see.
mackerel are in the net. Well, I guess we'll just see what we'll see.
The tuna is in the wheelbarrow. What?
We're back to talk a little more about Point Break. No,
Wait, what
Under
movie is
Siege.
this?
Oh, shit.
Is that wishful thinking?
No, the
Oh, you're
bourbon
Gary
is just
Busey.
kicked in.
That was the Gary Busey
Just
connection.
drinking this Hill Rock.
You were thinking about how good Gary Busey is. That's
I
an easy
am.
mistake to make.
Yeah.
We're talking about Under Siege.
Under Siege, episode 2.
yeah,
Welcome all of our listeners.
yeah, all of our thousands. Helen Mirren, Daniel Day. Good to see you guys.
Yes.
Thanks so much for
Frankie
tuning in
Muniz. What? Maybe.
again. Really?
Sure, why
yeah,
not?
Probably.
Aspirational.
Definitely. Yeah, we hope.
He'll be on next episode.
Yeah, we hope that he and Bryan Cranston are listening together,
Yes.
reminiscing about Malcolm in the Middle days.
But I
Uh,
dig this movie. I grew up watching this one for sure. This was a blind taste test for you, though, so I'm
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, I did not grow up watching this one. I think by this time I was like transitioning out of like the steady diet of action movies.
Oh,
and was,
really?
like moving up. Well,
That's a shame.
like 1992. I'm trying to think about. I was 10 years old.
Yeah, you. That's
so I know that was like
should've
right in
been
the
your
wheelhouse. So I have no idea how
just
this
didn't-
movie fell off.
What was your rental spot? It had a name. It wasn't a Blockbuster,
In Jasper, Georgia, it was the Visitech. But by 1992, we would have just moved to Cumming. And in
They had a
Cumming, it was the
Blockbuster?
Blockbuster.
Not a movie gallery.
Yeah, no. we had a Hollywood Video later,
Oh shit. Okay, yeah.
which I also liked.
I like imagine a world in which there were the demand to support like 3 different movie rental, like big
Yeah.
national chains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had 2 in Cumming, and it was outlandish.
Awesome.
We were spoiled for choice.
I feel like Under Siege was definitely like a 10 to 12-year-old Kevin sleepover staple, like
Okay.
at friends' houses.
yeah, I'm like, as far as language, my parents had a fixation on dirty language, and this movie doesn't have a lot of bad language.
No,
in
it's
it.
nothing like Die Hard.
I was like, there's no f bombs that I can think of to this point that I've
there
seen.
must
in this
be
movie.
a few, but
Yeah.
but it's not like
We'd
Die Hard.
watched like my mom let us watch fucking like Nightmare on Elm Street
Ooh.
and stuff like that.
So super violent.
Yeah, but if they're boobies or bad words,
Well, maybe they heard about the titties in this one.
maybe that's probably
we haven't quite
exactly.
gotten there yet, but
we don't want
will.
our kids to acknowledge their sexuality. We want to stifle that shit as long as possible. But anyway, what has happened in this movie up to this point? Nothing.
No, so we got the USS Missouri. It's a battleship laden with weapons. It is being decommissioned. It's being sailed from Hawaii to San Francisco. There's
where
like a
they're gonna-
skeleton crew operating the ship.
Right?
Yeah. We got Chief Ryback. He's down below. Is like a cook.
Yeah.
He's serving as a cook. That's
Right.
all we know that he is for now. He's played by Seagal. We got the captain's whatever. It's the captain's birthday, I guess.
Yep.
There's a helicopter, an unauthorized helicopter full of like
Yeah. Gary Busey has set a plan to where this helicopter is being
caterers and a
allowed.
band and a stripper
Right.
are coming for the captain's birthday party.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah. That's all that's happened.
Yeah.
And we know that there's some animosity between Ryback and the XO of the ship,
Oh yeah.
Gary Busey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Ryback has been he's run afoul of Commander Krill.
And now
He's
is,
been locked in the meat
yeah,
locker.
because he pushed an officer,
Why are you pushing me?
or then he punched him in the face and fucked him up.
Why are you pushing me?
Yeah. Why are you pushing?
He drew first blood.
Man, where's Brian Dennehy at? He should have.
Damn, he could
He
have
would've
killed it as Commander Krill or the captain.
Yeah.
Any elder. Oh, fucking that dude
He wouldn't have been as like he would have brought some gravitas to this movie.
massive
big
talent.
time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, our action picks up in the galley. Private Nash, the Marine who Krill left to guard Ryback in the meat locker, tells Ryback that he's under orders to not speak to him.
I left this out, but in the meat locker, we see Ryback like contorting himself to bring his handcuffs from behind his back to in front of him. I used to like practice that shit. Like,
you never know when you're going to need to.
I was definitely convinced I would need to be able to do that at some point in my life. Like you hold your hands behind your back and you try to bring them around to the front. Yeah.
So yeah, we cut inside the locker. Ryback tells Nash that he's going to be held accountable eventually and that he needs to consider that. But Ryback tells Nash that Krill didn't say that he couldn't talk to the cabin and that he should go ask the captain. Captain. Well, I am not drunk yet. Ask the captain what's up. So while he's talking, yeah, we also see that Ryback's like working his shackles from back to front by like slinging them over his feet. And yeah, I feel like Jacob and I would try to do that shit and like see who could get out of our jump rope manacles.
He called Nash a little E1 prick.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what is that? And I looked that up and that's like authentic lingo. Like that means the lowest level of enlisted men.
Yeah. So there's like E1 up to, and we'll get into this later as it figures into guard duty because I had a question about guard duty. But yeah, as far as like what the code listings are for enlisted
That's
men.
like private first class, Nash.
So we cut to the captain's birthday party in the mess where people are drinking punch. Taylor's enjoying some apps, and other seamen are loving that singer.
The singer was fucking shredding,
that
dude.
dude's voice is killer.
Most talented terrorist for sure. Like,
and we never really see him again. It's like that dude fucks. He was destroying worlds.
That voice.
Yeah,
Jesus
his voice is
Christ.
unreal. It's really good. It's like I love Huey Lewis, but I think that dude's voice is better. Elsewhere, we see waiters bringing food to seamen in the engine room, which I'm not sure is allowed.
No, imagine a world in which a caterer in a
just
tuxedo
has free roam,
is wandering
free
through
range.
the bowels of a battleship with like a platter of hors d'oeuvres.
Pigs in a blanket?
Sir?
Canapé? Excuse me, sir.
The dude in charge down there.
He's like pouring motor oil into the boat. He's like, canapé, sir? Get out of here.
That was the most Chicagoist man that's ever lived, that man down there.
Yeah, the dude that's apparently in charge of the interview is like, Twinkies, but where's Miss July? Like, hey,
where's Miss July?
Thanks for bringing down the hors d'oeuvres.
Where's the bears?
Yeah, where are the bears at? So funny he should ask because at that moment, Stranix is introducing her to the boys in the mess. However, it's not Miss July at all, but Krill, who comes in dancing in drag for reasons unknown. Some guys are loving it. Other guys are put off by it. I love when Krill leans into Stranix, and I keep wanting to call him Skrillex so bad. But he leans into the mic and yells, "Welcome to the revolution," and pets his face.
That shit right there alone like makes this movie worthy of the treatment.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Like, I mean, what the fuck? What was were you prepared for that?
No, I was like,
Busey and drag?
I immediately was like, why is this happening?
Holy shit.
I don't know why this is happening. So while Stranix raps to Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he's a Mary Had a Little Lamb. He's making a gay joke about Mary being in drag. But it's like they needed something that he could say, I guess, and know like off the cuff. But anyway, he's rapping to the words of Mary Had a Little Lamb. One of the officers says, maybe Krill isn't such an asshole after all. Stranix tells Mary.
Krill would have to be universally disliked on the ship.
Yeah.
For everyone else other than the captain is an underling to him. For them to just openly be calling him an asshole amongst each other.
Yeah.
Like everyone must hate him.
Yeah, I don't get, well, even like earlier when he was telling the dude with the huge binoculars, then he walked by and told, "You missed a spot," to this
Did he?
deckhand.
I missed that.
Yeah,
bit.
he's like yelling at a dude.
Line. Nice.
Yeah. So,
dude, Busey was fucking going for it, man.
Yeah, well, that's Busey. That's Busey's way.
I love that about him, though.
So Stranix tells Mary, Krill, that it's time to get to the old man, the captain, we guess, and he, she, / they go caressing officers on the way out. Cole Meany, who by his tux looks like he's supposed to be head waiter or something, comes to escort Krill to the captain for some reason.
Krill was like flashing his ass, like
Yeah.
flashing his tighty whities as he
Yeah.
was going up the stairs.
So just then we see Tuco make his way through the crowd to two of the Marines who earlier helped detain Ryback in the galley and asked,
Yeah.
like, where's the chief? And they tell him that Krill locked him in the meat locker until after the party. Ramirez Tuco points out that it's 40 degrees in there. And one of the guys like, he'll be fine. He's got a guard.
He'll be fine. He's got a guard.
That, like, okay,
I
easy
loved-
voice modulation syndrome.
I love Tuco though. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, okay.
that was fucking killer work to me from
Yeah.
our Raymond Cruz.
That line interests
He'll be
Tuco.
fine.
It
He's got a
seems to interest
guard.
Tuco to no end, and he turns to go. But down in the galley, Ryback's still trying to reason with Nash, saying that Krill's a maniac and that Nash should tell the captain that Krill spit in the soup. Outside the locker, we see the galleys filling with smoke. Nash tells Ryback something's wrong. Ryback tells him to get my pies out of the oven again.
the pie gag is finally paid off.
Yeah, and he does, and the pies are scorched. Back upstairs, the party's in full swing and includes some older vets who I guess were Missouri crew from bygone days.
Yeah, I think they were like the WW2 crew.
Yeah, but it's at this point that I was like, that dude in the band's voice is awesome.
Yeah, dude, he was killing it.
Also note that anytime we see Stranix, he's not playing the harmonica, but just kind of hyping the crowd.
I like it. He's the hype man.
He is the hype man. Anyway, we cut to Krill and Cole Meany arriving at the captain's quarters. Krill says it feels good to be walking around in pantyhose.
That was the moment where they come to that guard, and I was like, "Is that Jake Busey?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
it really, because it does look like him, but it's nowhere to be found on IMDb, so I'm not sure.
The voice doesn't quite sound like him, but yeah, he does kind of. Also, his hat's kind of pulled down, so you can't really see. So yeah,
Yeah.
the Marine guarding the door looks very amused at the sight of Krill and Drag, and so I noticed like that dude's a sergeant. Watching this for the first time, I had a hard time believing that they'd have a sergeant on guard duty. But
Okay.
I looked it up, and apparently security duties are assigned from E1, which we've discussed E2 prick
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, like way down in the food chain to E8, which is like gunnery sergeant or something like that.
I feel
So
like,
this
yeah,
dude's a full
sergeant is
sergeant.
about as high as you can get as an enlisted man in
Yeah.
the Marines.
And this dude is a sergeant E5. So mea culpa movie. You were right. Under Siege.
I really do. I don't know how. I don't know who he's working with, the technical advisor, but I think like the military politics of it all are spot on.
I appreciate it because a lot of time it's like not the case in
Yeah.
movies like this. It's like, well, we didn't do our homework and fuck it, we don't care. So Krill tells the sergeant that they come to escort the captain to the party. The guy opens up, announces Krill. Captain says, send him in. The captain is just like, the fuck is this? At the sight of Krill in drag, minus the wig, but with a big cigar in his mouth. And Krill says, I'm your date tonight, Captain.
Fucking weird shit.
So we cut back to the mess. The band's still playing the song I Love You to Death. Stranix finally playing the harmonica again. At the end of the song, as the seamen cheer, Stranix asks the crowd, who is the highest ranking officer in the room? The crowd starts to gesture to a dude who's seated a little bit further back. I don't know, like 20 feet or so.
it
from
seems
the
like it's
stage.
going to be some type of like game or something, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like I'm going to like make him do something embarrassing or
Yeah.
whatever, sing along.
Pin the tail on the hooker. So Stranix asks the guy to stand up and be recognized and tells the crowd to like clear out so he can see him. The spotlight shines on the guy who is rocking a full-on like the character Flat Top from Dick Tracy. One of the most unusually shaped heads I've ever seen.
The white dude?
Yeah.
You're talking about, yeah.
the dude.
Yeah.
I was like, his head, he looks like Flat Top from Dick Tracy.
Yes.
It's a very wide head. So Stranix asks, you're the highest ranking officer in the room? And the guy says, that's right, and introduces himself as the operations officer, third in command on the ship. Stranix says, it's a pleasure to meet you, Commander Green. No one said his name.
Yeah, sweet.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Stranix pulls a pistol and shoots
no,
the
I
dude
think
in the
because
forehead.
he was briefed.
Yeah, well, I know
That's
that,
what- yeah,
but
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird. But like he pulls a pistol out and shoots the dude in the forehead. Anyway, before Commander Green's body hits the floor, all the caterers and musicians pull previously hidden weapons from places.
Yes.
Um,
Dude, I love the thought that they found a squad of killer mercenaries that could really fucking shred. Like-
Who are also a really good like rock blues band.
well, that makes you think like, were they searching for terrorists who could shred or people who could shred who were willing to be terrorists?
How much money could I pay you to learn how to use this firearm.
Yeah. I imagine it was like the signs on telephone poles where you peel the number off, you know. Can you
Looking for mercenary / bass player to join my band.
can you shred and are willing to take over a battleship?
It's
Because the band was sharp.
Yeah,
Like-
the band's great. So suddenly all the caterers and musicians whip machine guns out from various places. They knock out the guards, subdue the crowd. Up in the captain's quarters, I can't tell if the captain heard the gunfire. Seems like he would, or if he's just mystified by the goings-on with Krill. But he's like, I'm Tom Shane. What's going on?
We'll leave the light on for you.
Yeah. So Krill says the party's just beginning, pulls out a pistol with a silencer out of his pantyhose, and shoots the captain point blank in the chest. There's a terrible goof with a cigar there.
Oh, I
Like
didn't
when
catch
Krill
it.
says the line, there's no cigar in his mouth. But when he pulls the trigger, there's a cigar in his mouth.
Shit.
I was like, that's terrible editing.
I feel like the immediate death of the captain was like a little bit of a shock.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, you would have
Oh,
thought
fuck.
they'd take him hostage or whatever. I don't know.
So the guard at the door seems to hear the silenced gun through the door. He throws open the door to check on the captain, starts to draw his own firearm, but Cole Meany, who is carrying a tray of hors d'oeuvres, pulls his gun with a silencer and kills the poor sergeant. And Krill's like, whoa, good shot. And I mean, not really, because he was like maybe 3 feet away shooting into the dude's like broad back. So anyway, whatever the larger plot is, the first phase, take over the boat, seems like pretty well in hand. Down in the mess, gunmen led by Stranix are getting all the seamen under control. Stranix pistol whips a dude and then steps on his neck. Down in the engine room, one of the caterers shoots the Chicago guy from earlier who was asking where Miss July was, shoots him in the leg. Cut over to the galley. Ryback hears the gunfire and asks Nash what's going on. Nash looks like he's unsure about anything at this point, but doesn't like tender an answer. Cut back to the captain's quarters.
That's when he was like, I don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody out here who's listening to you.
La la la, la 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 la. So we cut back to the captain's quarters where Krill orders Colm Meany to, quote, take care of that, which prompts Colm to shoot the captain a second time.
Make
and
sure.
I guess that the first shot to the heart wasn't enough to kill because the captain does grunt as he gets shot that second time. It's like,
We'll leave the light on for him. Oh, God. You've got a friend in the
you
back.
got a friend.
So stupid.
So back down in the mess, Stranix checks his watch, finds he's 4 minutes ahead of schedule. Damn, I'm good.
Damn, I'm good.
In the engine room, techs are hauling their CEO out at gunpoint. One of the baddies radios to Stranix saying, Mother Goose, the quails are in the nest.
That's so weird.
We cut back
Why are
to
they using coded
I don't know.
language?
Yeah, no one's listening. We cut back to the galley. Nash yells to Ryback that the sounds they're hearing are just the music from the party.
Yeah.
Ryback says, you got shit for brains, Private. That's definitely gunfire.
Oh, that's where he says
That something is definitely going on and that he should call the bridge. Nash is still defiant, though no kind of a good actor.
Oh, Ryback. He says with a chuckle.
Oh, Ryback. So down in the mess, the bad guys are hurting the seamen somewhere. At one point, one of the bad guys tells another guy to seal a door with a blowtorch. In a stairwell, a featured baddie named Shadow tells the captured men to keep their eyes on the man in front. One of the Marines jumps out of line and tries to like overtake Shadow, but Shadow, like without problem, drops that dude and then shoots him a lot.
Did you recognize Shadow?
I do recognize him, but I don't like.
He was Copeland in The Fugitive, like the other dude who survived the train crash, and had the gun to Newman's head.
Yeah.
Later on when he got shot right by his ear or whatever.
When they go visit his apartment. So
this was crazy because I was doing the research, and a ship like this, if it was fully staffed, would be like 2,000 men on board or 2,000 sailors. So I don't know how small the skeleton crew is. Seamen.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not a time of war, and they're just taking it back to be.
They probably put as
decommissioned.
few people on as possible just to get it.
They didn't
back
want to waste
there.
those precious taxpayer dollars.
Precious seamen.
That precious seaman. Oh. So from atop the stairs, Stranix shoots another sailor in the head just because.
You're right.
And tells the other captives to let it be a learning experience. If you resist, We will kill you and the men next to you. Now move out of here in an orderly fashion now.
That was intense.
Yeah, weird cut to the exterior of the ship where some bad guys are getting ready to rappel from one level to another. And
Where
then-
were they repelling? They
Why
climbed.
were they-
They
why were they
climbed
re-
to the top of the ship
Do,
to
do, do,
propel
do, do.
down. To
And these-
rappel down.
And we have to think that these are waiters.
Yeah.
They set down their trays of hors d'oeuvres and canapes or ate them, and then we're like, time to rappel down. So then we're back inside where we see all the seamen and Marines have been moved to one area and get sealed in the room.
The forecastle.
Yeah, the spelled forecastle, pronounced forecastle.
The forecastle.
So that's in the British English tradition of pronouncing words with more letters like they have far fewer letters than they have.
That's like Worcester, Mass. And all
Or
that.
Southwark, which is
Suffolk.
spelled Southwark, but pronounced Southwark.
Okay.
So, yeah. So back outside, a sentry gets picked off by a guy atop the ship's main tower. That seemed like a hell of a shot, like from way up there.
Deadeye.
Yeah. The body falling seems to get the attention of another officer on the bridge, we guess, who somehow hasn't heard any of the gunfire elsewhere, but walks out like, what the hell? Several bad guys start to, like 15 guys rappel down now. It's like everyone has
It's
set up there
insane.
and no one's belaying. Everyone's just rappelling.
It's that shit from Blues Brothers. Where
Yeah. Yeah. So the confused officers captured by Cole Meany. The bad guys also capture what looks like a radio operator. And then 4 other guys rappel in. There's lots of rappelling. Right before the next cut,
we have to appreciate the fact they had to climb all the way to
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
They had to climb past
several
the
stairs
deck that they were
They
rappelling
walked
down
past
to.
other sailors or seamen.
They walked right past the point that they were rappelling down to.
Yeah, like, why not just stay there and pull your gun? But anyway, right before the next cut, one guy with a gun, one of the terrorists, does this weird, like, herky-jerky pivot around and just looks dead into the camera. And I'm like, oh, no.
You know.
No. We didn't have time. We couldn't go back and get this. So back in the captain's quarters, Krill, still in drag, has let himself into a safe, pulls out a box that I thought immediately, I was like, is that a floppy disk thing or something?
It seemed
But
like a little.
it's like a container of some kind, but it looked like a rigid like case for a floppy
You would
disk.
open it up, I feel like, and there's stuff inside
Yeah.
it, like discs inside.
But it's labeled NavSatcom, which
Oh,
working
okay.
in the government services world, like navigation, satellite communications, or
So do you plug that thing right into something and then?
well, if this is in 1992, it would make sense that that's a disk of some kind that you would then put in. And my thought was like immediately, like having the ability to pause and look at the label. I was like, oh, well, there are coordinates or codes or something on it.
Okay.
And then he also starts riffling through a file labeled Officer Service Record. Stranix and Shadow have come in. Krill chucks the little NavSatcom box at Stranix. The vicious throw and an awesome catch.
Did you notice there was also like a weird cabinet full of like
Silverware.
like silver,
Like
like
dishes
tea
and-
service and
Yeah.
stuff?
Like
Odd.
or trophies from Wimbledon or some shit. I was like, what is all like? Why is this in
You
here?
didn't know the captain had won the British Open,
His senior-
a 4-time
senior-
British Open winner.
So Krill resumes going through the file, asking, where is it? Where is it? But then immediately finds it says, listen to the shit I've had to put up with, and begins to read from the captain's log. The past few weeks, Commander Krill has become increasingly hostile to the crew, possibly due to the anger over my last reviews of his performance. I recommend that he be given a psychological evaluation before taking over his next assignment. He slams the papers on the desk and asks if he, the man currently with fake boobs and a panty on his head, looks like he needs a psych eval. Stranix, who's been listening with like subtle amusement, says, not at all.
Not at all.
And then checks his watch again.
Amazing delivery
Oh, yeah.
from
Not at all.
Tommy Lee Jones and Busey.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just the
amazing.
two of them. I was like,
Not
I
at
wish
all.
that they were in several movies together.
Yeah, they have great chemistry.
Krill whips the panty off his head, says he needs to change clothes. Cut to seconds later, Krill, now in uniform, Stranix, they're coming up to the bridge. They're followed by a Weasley-looking guy carrying some kind of gear case, like a briefcase or something.
He's got glasses on, so you know he's like the tech
He's
dude.
the Theo of this,
Yes, he's
version
Theo.
of Die Hard. So Krill enters the bridge, draws his weapon, and he and his goons start to round up the guys driving the boat. And this is where I was like, so wait, Cole Meany and others just got a few of the guys, but the guys doing the actual driving haven't been captured?
It's
or
very
Are there
unclear.
are any of these guys wise to the fact that bad guys have taken
They seem
control?
to be. They
didn't hear the gunfire.
They seem to be completely unaware that anything has been going on.
This is so stupid because the guy that was ostensibly in charge has been captured without any of them noticing and was just right outside of the open door.
Yeah, it's odd. I don't know if this was
Where'd he go? Well, that guy captured him. He'll be
re-edited
back.
out of order or something, but it's
dumb.
odd.
This is a dumb sequence of events. But
It
anyway,
happens again.
yeah. Krill tells them that they're being taken to the forecastle
Yeah.
and that if they cooperate, no one will be harmed. Presuming the other seamen are all in the forecastle, is there another door that hasn't been welded shut? Because they already welded those dudes in
There's
there.
that hatch on top that we see
so
later.
We'll just
maybe.
assume that there is,
We're going to feed them down through the hatch on top.
and then we'll weld that shut. Okay, so anyway, the bad guys then move on to the next important room, which is the navigation room, where
full of another squad of dudes.
a whole squad of guys that have also not been hipped to the fact that terrorists have taken the ship. But anyway, the bad guys bust in, start to clear guys out. While that's going on, Weasel Guy comes in, opens up the case, and we see it's like a portable workstation with a screen, a phone, a trackball mouse, and a bunch of switches and shit.
I love that Stranix was really just bullying and berating this one particular sailor. He's like, "You're not going to give me any problems, are you, motherfucker? Oh, you're a cheeky little bastard, aren't you?" And it was like,
Tommy Lee was guaranteed improvising.
he was
all
making
of
a
that.
meal of it. Yeah, he was just chewing it up.
I love that he was into it though, because he's not someone you consider to be an action star or anything like that. But he was going for the gusto. But he's a professional.
He's like, once they're all cleared out, he's like, "My God, what a bunch of wusses."
Yeah, I know. So once the seamen are all herded out, it's Colm, Stranix, Krill, and Weasel left. Stranix gives the Weasel guy, Mr. Pitt, the nav satcom box. He calls it the disc and tells him to guard it with his life. So I wasn't far off. I felt gratified knowing
Absolutely.
I wasn't far off thinking it was a floppy or some floppies. So then Stranix asks Pitt to bring up the layout of the Missouri on the monitors. And it's from this moment that the power dynamic shifts completely, and we get that Stranix is the guy. He is the head honcho in charge of this rogue group. Pitt says, "We've overridden all the ship's systems." Cole Meany gives the rundown on all the rooms that they control and says they've welded shut the port and starboard crosshatches. Krill says that there may be a few crew left in quarters or in non-essential areas, but that they can't go anywhere now. Cole Meany says everyone else is in the forecastle. And
Cole Meany has changed from his tuxedo into his terrorist turtleneck that he's wearing. And he's
terrorist turtleneck ought to be a thing if it's not. Someone needs to market my terrorist turtleneck.
He had a turtleneck and blazer on. It was amazing.
Your J. Crew or Yves Saint Laurent terrorist turtleneck.
I was
blazer.
digging it, dude.
Yeah, his look is killer. He's like the sophisticated one.
Absolutely. He's the European of the group.
Yeah, so Stranix is pleased at all of this and orders Pitt to reactivate the weapon systems and tells Cole Meany to send out their welders to, quote unquote, chop up Broadway, which we don't know what that quite means yet. So Stranix then promotes Krill to captain, which Krill gets very hard about, and then yells that he needs something to eat. And then he seems to have a sinking spell or flash of pain or discomfort or something. He's feeling his head.
The blood sugar had been dropping or something.
He's probably been hopped up on adrenaline. And maybe that was a Tommy Lee thing. He's like, if you're on adrenaline for that long and you've got a moment to come down, you crash
He's under
hard.
huge stress, too.
So we cut back down to the galley. Nash, gun drawn, finally opens the door to the meat locker, tells Ryback that Krill warned me that you were tricky. Ryback says, "Private, I'm not tricky. I'm just freezing." So he insists again that something's going on and that Nash needs to call the bridge, that no one's going to yell at him for doing his job by checking, and that he should get on it right away. And Nash is like, okay.
Do you get the impression that Ryback is fully aware that something real is happening?
I think that he knows the sound of a gunshot for sure. And that there have been enough red herrings. Him being locked up in the cooler, for one thing, I think is not a red herring, a red flag, excuse me.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
That's not protocol.
I think that the captain brought Ryback on the ship to be his fucking personal protector. Is what I think.
Oh, because you haven't finished the movie yet?
No. No clue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't know what the
Nope.
relationship
I
between
only
Ryback and the
watched the
captain is?
first. Nope, not
Oh,
one
I
clue.
love this.
Yeah,
I thought the fact that that Ryback warned Nash to be careful,
yeah.
made me think that he really does believe some shit's happening on this. Like, be careful when you call up. Like,
Yeah, that's
some shit's popping off here.
That's what I got. The thought that I got was that Ryback knows from being I got the feeling, just what I knew from the movie, that he's not just a cook. He's not a fish out of water. He's something more than he seems, or this movie would say.
Goddamn cook's a seal.
Right. So Nash finally acquiesces, but he says, all I'm going to do is check in. So Ryback says, do it and be careful. Nash quickly shuts the door again. Cut back to the navigation room where Stranix is slicing up with like a fucking like butter knife some prime rib and he tosses a thin, like nasty looking like sheet of beef at Shadow. Shadow undeterred just starts like mowing down on it.
That was weird. I feel like it was like a master like tossing scraps of like meat to his wild dog.
Oh, totally.
Like,
yeah, it's
what they were
definitely
going for.
Setting the power.
But you
dynamic.
imagine he's like, who wants me to carve them a scrap?
Who wants some? No, he's like, who wants mid-rare? Who wants rare? So a goon runs up and tells the honchos that they've got a call from a private Nash on guard duty in the kitchen. Krill somehow has forgotten about Ryback, who he made a massive deal out of detaining like just a couple hours ago.
He's crazy.
Yeah,
Krill
he
is crazy.
Krill is out of his nut. So Cole Meany tells Pitt to pull it up on the monitors. They see that the gallery is unsecured and provides access to the whole ship.
You left out the fact Cole Meany's got a flute of champagne.
Yeah, they're all drinking. They're drinking bubbly, which I love.
He's getting shitty.
Cole Meany is my kind of terrorist. That would be me.
Amazing.
That would be me. I'd just be like over there getting shit canned on champagne.
He's got the proper champagne flute.
Yeah.
That killed me.
I love it.
The dudes are fucking partying.
Yeah. So Krill, looking pained like he forgot to move clothes over the dryer, says, "Oh, it's Ryback." So Stranix says the name kind of like a question, but to a first-time watcher, it appeared to me that maybe there was a hint of recognition. But the more that I've watched of the movie, I get that there's not. That
Wait, who had the hint?
It's Stranix when Stranix says Ryback.
So you haven't made it farther yet.
No.
Okay.
I was just like,
No spoilers.
It seemed
No
to me
spoilers.
that like Stranix recognized the name.
We'll
say
talk
anything.
about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
later.
So Krill says that that Ryback is a pain in the ass cook, and that's really all he apparently knows about Ryback. He asks for the phone, thanks Nash for checking in, and says he wants him to keep Ryback under control and that he is not to open the door. Stranix ominously tells Krill to also tell Nash that they're going to send someone down to relieve him.
We know what that means.
Yeah, we're going to fucking kill you. So Nash asks if everything is all right, that they heard something that sounded like gunshots. But Krill's like, gunshots? Oh, that was party poppers, fireworks, just part of the festivities, and that Nash should just sit tight until relieved.
Is everything all right, sir? We heard something what sounded like gunshots.
What sounded like. So,
is party poppers a phrase you've ever heard before? Party poppers.
I think so. Yeah, like the things that you pull them apart.
Okay.
That make a popping sound.
Sure, I
think that the lingo is different. Like they call them crackers. I think in Great Britain, I think
Sure,
they call
yeah.
party poppers like crackers.
Okay.
And you pull them apart, and they do make a noise, and streamers and confetti and shit fall out and drive people like me crazy. So they hang up. Krill smacks his hand on the table, super frustrated that he forgot about this one very important detail that he was obsessed about an hour ago.
Yeah,
Stranix asks if there's anything else he's not talking. Any further memory lapses or oversights, perhaps? Tommy Lee is just the dialogue that they wrote for Tommy Lee. I wonder if he was like, let's revisit this because like any further memory lapses or oversights, perhaps?
The dynamic, just watching Busey and Tommy Lee Jones work together was great. No, there's no further memory lapses or oversights, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
I loved it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
great with
yeah.
those two.
Krill says it's nothing, just two men, one who's locked up, and then he'll take care of it, and he like makes to leave. But then Stranix says, we've got guys to take care of this. He orders Shadow to send a couple of guys to secure the galley. Krill points out that Nash is armed and that more muscle should go, so he's like, I want to go. Like he's got a death wish.
He's tapping himself hard on the chest with his own pistol that
wanna
he
go.
just cocked.
I want to go, Dad. Stranix says, don't worry. My guys are professionals who can handle 20 Marines and 100 cooks while chawing on some prime
That
rib.
was great delivery. They can handle 20 Marines and 100 cooks.
Yeah.
That fucking killer.
So Yeah, we cut down to the galley where Nash is, again, mid-argument with Ryback. He tells Ryback that the sounds they heard, it's just party poppers, Ryback.
That's the line I told you. It's been stuck in my head for like weeks now since I've rewatched the movie. You're wrong, Ryback. You're wrong.
I got told it was party poppers.
Those were party poppers. I love
Okay.
it. You're wrong.
So Ryback tells Nash again that he's got shit for brains and that even though they've brainwashed him at boot camp, that sometimes you got to question authority. Ryback says, you should trust me. The noise was gunfire. But then he says, if you let me out, I'll take you. Yeah. And so
I'll shoot you myself.
I'll shoot you myself,
Well,
which is
I'm
like, it's like
you're sending
that's
mixed
not-
messages
That's
here.
not persuasive. So just then Nash hears a metallic thud somewhere. And he's like, Krill? Is that you, Commander Krill? Behind him, we see a blurred out mercenary enter frame pointing a gun at Nash and creeping toward him. Just as Nash turns to see the guy, a second guy with a gun pops out. They order him to put his hands on his head and get down. They disarm him and ask where the cook is. Nash motions with his head that he's in the fridge,
The reefer.
the reefer. They back away and then just blow him away.
Poor Nash.
Yeah. They remove the honing steel from the lock, quickly fling the door open and open fire into the fridge, but Ryback ain't there, so
No.
it would seem.
That one dude was just going to town on the jars of mayonnaise
Yeah.
or tartar sauce or
He
whatever the
hates
fuck it
dairy.
was. He hates these cans.
He hates dairy. So a vent in the ceiling swings open, hits one of the guys in the face. Then
What
Ryback.
was that hatch?
It wasn't there the whole fucking time.
I mean, I don't know. It must not have been a way to escape necessarily. Maybe it's just where like the
A cold air
the
vent or
cold
something.
air motor is up there.
No clue. But then Ryback swings down, kicks the other guy, runs out of the fridge, closes and bars the door. I appreciate the fact that Ryback at least had the decency to check Nash for a
Yeah,
pulse before
decent.
rummaging around for the keys to the cuffs. I got no keys for these cuffs.
I got no keys for these cuffs.
Meanwhile, the mercenaries are shooting the shit out of the fridge lock. Ryback finds the keys, runs, and I guess cuts power to the galley, or I thought he turned the lights off, but anyway, there's all these like amber, the power's cut lights.
Yeah,
off.
it was
It's
like I think he flipped a breaker or
Yeah.
something, and yeah.
The goons kick the door open in unison, split up to search. In among the dish racks, Ryback removes his cuffs, and his chef's jacket and starts creeping around the kitchen behind shelves. He worms his way over to the knife that he threw into the cutting board or whatever that was earlier and slings it at one of the gunmen, like hitting him in the throat. Dude falls without a sound.
Sweet kill.
Yeah,
He
very cool.
He punctured the voice box.
That's right. Well, the voice box, the jugular, it's like
All of it.
It was a one-trick shot. So the second gunman's trying to fight. He's like, hey, where are you? But Ryback gets the jump on him. They wrestle for the gun. Shots go off. Ryback throws the guy over the counter. The guy gets up with a sidearm drawn. Ryback grabs him. There's more grappling, more shots going off. Ryback, again, which all kinds of questions about how acoustics work on a ship, because sometimes you can hear everything and other times you can't hear a gun go off or a boom box.
You're saying elsewhere in the ship they should
Yeah,
have
it's
heard
like they should
gunfire
have heard
happening?
this.
I guess they knew they were supposed to be killing people down there.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I
So
don't
Ryback tosses the guy into a shelf full of dishes, which causes the gun to fly out of his hand. With his free hand, I mean, immediately the gun flies out and the dude immediately reaches. Like I watched the shot, like hand flies up, he reaches, like in the same motion, reaches down and pulls the knife. So
Okay.
I mean, it's like blinking, you'll miss it. But Ryback gets a hold of the knife arm, presses his other big meaty arm across the dude's windpipe and forces him down. He gives one last big push, and we hear the dude's windpipe crunch.
Is that what he did there?
And he did. He
Okay, it was not a
crushed it with
broken
his
neck. It was like a
forearm.
crushed
Yeah.
throat. Ugh. Gross.
So Ryback removes one of the guy's gear harnesses, then walks over to the counter, puts a piece of steel wool in a coffee cup, dumps some sherry or cooking wine and what looks like some
Yeah.
distilled white vinegar
I
in the
couldn't
cup.
tell what that was.
Like
Or
a-
it could have been like it could have been in some sort of an alcohol, like a rubbing alcohol, or would
I
something they would use
imagine in
to
a
clean.
kitchen that's like white vinegar, probably, because white
Is that
vinegar.
shit flammable?
I don't know if vinegar's flammable or not. Sherry is,
Sherry, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
but
I wasn't sure if they
interesting.
could have like something
I
they
think
use
that,
to clean
like,
the
'cause
blades.
White
and stuff.
vinegar is what you pour in for like science experiment that it can cause, like
Okay.
mixed with other chemicals, it can cause like a
We're
chemical
gonna-
reaction that
I
like
want to trust the writers that
Yeah,
they know what this
that they
shit
knew
is.
what was going on. But I think especially if you throw that in a microwave, which he does,
The
that
steel
he knows
wool is
that that's
gonna-
going to cause
yeah.
an excite the molecule so much that it would cause an explosion. But anyway, yeah. the steel wool in the microwave would be enough to cause a fire, but I think he's going for something bigger. But since the power is out, he just sticks the cocktail in the microwave, turns the knob, thinking that later on people are going to come down here and restore power.
He knows what he's doing.
So, yeah, I got that. Like, as a first-time viewer, I was like, I'm proud of myself for knowing that that's what's happening. So back in the navigation room, Cole Meany still drinking champagne, which I love.
I love that, dude. He was getting shitty up there, and I love that for him.
One of the bad guys, radar operators, announces that they've got an F-18 close by now.
He said they're looking for the helicopter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so did they know that there was a helicopter coming, or was there an unauthorized helicopter?
I'm wondering if whoever sent the helicopter, whoever organized that, like if the bad guys organized that helicopter via a third party, if someone was like, I'm missing a chopper.
Yeah.
Like called it in and they were like, oh, we got to go look for it. It was going to the Missouri.
Like it might be lost at sea or something?
Yeah, it was going to the Missouri. We need you to go look for it. That was the vibe that I got.
It's also crazy to me that it's like 30 years on from this movie and F-18 is still like the plane that they're flying.
Yeah. So Pitt says the F-18 is looking for the helicopter. Cole Meany picks up his champagne chilling bucket to study the radar.
He just studies that radar.
Yeah. Cut to some B-roll of a jet and the pilot in the cockpit. There's some more studying of charts on Cole Meany's part to try and sell the fact that he knows what's up.
Yes, he's just looking
meanwhile,
at shit.
Ryback, who we were told earlier had free reign of the whole ship from the galley, has gone directly to the captain's quarters.
Sure.
He sees the captain's body, which has been unceremoniously dumped into the floor from its earlier resting place on the couch.
Bro, this is where the music was terrible. Like the glaring sort of synth score, like synth horns. It was like
terrible.
It's like a low budget type movie.
It was very cheap all of a sudden. Ryback, in a gesture of respect, drapes his buddy, the captain's jacket, over the body. Then he looks really pissed off to no end, and seems to look right up at the camera before we cut to a shot of the F-18 flying low over the Missouri. All the big bads, most with champagne glasses in hand, have come out to watch on the deck, to watch the flyby. We hear the pilot say that he don't see no helicopter anywhere, but he's just going in for a closer look.
I love that. How much closer can you get, dude?
I mean,
I'm going in for a closer
He could have thrown a champagne glass and hit that jet.
I'm going to crash my jet into this ship.
Stradix seems to shake his head in disbelief and then starts like chuckling to himself. The pilot tries to hail the Missouri, but instead of an answer, we see Pitt in the nav room flip a switch, flip a bird, and he says, goodbye. The array makes a sound like an alarm. An alarm goes off in the cockpit, and the pilot's like, are you tracking me? And they're like, negative.
Negative.
Then we see one of the ship's guns swivel and hear the sound that everyone who's ever seen Top Gun knows means that someone has a target locked.
Yeah, man.
So the pilot says, with no great concern in his voice, you've locked me up. You've locked me up. Mayday. Mayday. Someone direct that man. Like, I would have been filling the cockpit up with shit. Like, I would have been having a full-on panic. You've locked me up. Mayday. Mayday. Anyway, the ship opens fire, destroys the jet. The bad guys along the railing recoil at the blast. But as Jimi Hendrix's Voodoo Child cranks up and Krill starts to whoop and holler, we get a shot that I absolutely love of Stranix, like looking bemused and sort of like, it looks like he's bobbing his head to the beat.
Was that before the big toast? Or after the big toast?
It's before. But like Tommy Lee's just looking like, fuck yeah, I did that. Badass. It's badass.
The firepower of that gun is incredible.
Yeah. So Krill raises his glass in salute and says again, welcome to the revolution. Only this time it's a toast.
Great crazy face from Busey. And he pounded the entire glass of champagne.
He, Stranix, and Cole Meany clink glasses and drink up. Like Coleman and Krill clean their glasses, but Stranix like drinks about half of it and then says to Shadow, they'd better call the office, smiles real big, and then leads his men into the command center. We close with some aerials of the Missouri at sea at night. It seems that the bad guys have indeed finished this first part of their plan, but Kevin and listeners, little do they know that there's a poison pill, a fly in the ointment, a monkey in the wrench lurking below decks.
Absolutely.
What's going to happen?
I don't know. Check us out next week. We're going to find out.
We'll be back.